Hey there, future profit masters and profit masters. This is Dawn Clevisol with a Stress-Free Bookkeeping, Stress-Free Tax Season. I am also the person that in charge of this Facebook group that you're watching this in. If you are catching us in the Facebook group, this is Profit First for Business Owners, and I am a Profit First professional in addition to being a certified professional bookkeeper, which I've been doing on my own since 2007. I've helped a lot of businesses, but I really feel like I could help so many more. I've expanded from what I can do personally into doing online coaching and supporting people that way. It just makes life so much easier if I feel like I'm helping more people. I get really frustrated if I can only help one or two people. So the Academy was born earlier this year, and that is something that is currently open for registration. So I wanted to mention that. Say hello if you're here. I'm using StreamYard, and with StreamYard, because it is a third-party app, you have to give Facebook permission to see who you are. And so if you haven't done that, it just shows up that someone's talking. It doesn't tell me who it is. So I have my Facebook open on this other computer, and I'm hoping that I can do this without like having to listen to myself on both things or something. No, I don't have to. So I'm hoping, we'll see. If you guys comment, I'll see if I can see them in the stream on my other computer as well. But say hi if you're here. You know me, I really want you guys to make 2020 your year. I know this has been really rough for a lot of people. It is not easy to get blindsided by things that we can't control. That's one of the reasons that working with Profit First, hi, how are you doing, is so important, because what it does is it gives you that control. It gives you the opportunity to take the money that's come in, separate it into different purposes inside your business, so that when everything goes wrong, like it did earlier this year, you have money that's set aside for an emergency. You have money that you've been actually paying yourself. That's huge, right? If you've been in business for a while, I bet that you probably know that business owners often don't pay themselves, and that's horrible. So one of the things that Mike with Profit First Professionals is really big on is ending entrepreneurial poverty. So you hear me talk about that a lot as well, because we have so many entrepreneurs that are working their tails off and they're in complete poverty. They don't have any money at the end of the month. It creates stress in their life with their family, with their spouse, in so many different ways. And it doesn't need to happen if you put profit first. And the reason for that is when you're not putting profit first, most times you're throwing all of your money back into the business. But that doesn't benefit. If the business isn't paying you, there's no benefit to being in the business. It's not worth you wearing yourself down over. It's not worth, like I said, the stress that it causes you and your family, or you're working all the time and not seeing anything out of it. It is just not worth that if you can't get paid. And a lot of times I find, just from doing people's books and from running my own business, that sometimes that it's not that your business isn't doing well, is that you're not charging enough. And I cannot tell you over the years how many phone calls and how many seminars and how many things I've been on that talk about value pricing, or this is how you price your service. But until I did Profit First in my business, until I was able to pull back and actually see where all my money was literally going, and not have it be some just huge pot of cash that, oh, I guess I need some, I'll take some kind of thing, and I guess the business can use this much of it. When it was so haphazard, it didn't lead to me running a business where I knew what I could charge. And hopefully that makes sense. So once I started doing Profit First, it became clear, even though I knew that I wasn't charging enough. But how do you have that conversation with your client when you don't know how that translates into how much you need to make? So if you're coming at it from, well, I guess I'll charge this much, or I guess I'll charge that much, that can create problems. And one of the problems is that you'll hear me talk about this. If you guys were on the in the boot camp that I did a couple weeks ago, we talk about the possession effect. And the possession effect, what that is, it's when we have money, or when we have anything really, we assign an emotional value to that thing. So how that played out for me inside of my sales calls with people was this way. I'm talking to you, or get it laid out, everything that you need for services, and then the price comes up. And I would pitch, I would say, okay, for all of this, it'll be $200, because I knew that I needed to make $200. But what I didn't realize, or wasn't self-evident until implementing Profit First in my business, is I need to charge $400 if I want to make $200. And I knew I wanted to charge $400, but I didn't have a good why, I don't know how to explain this. Hopefully you guys understand. I didn't have anything behind it to feel like I could. And I know that's a whole money mindset, how how your family handled money growing up and stuff. So everyone has their own little different take on that, but that's where it was coming from for me. I knew that I should be, that's probably a better way to put it. I knew that I should be charging $400 or $500 a month, but I don't think I really got the why until I did the Profit First analysis on my own business, and then realized, oh my gosh, first thing, I was taking too much money out of the company. I wasn't leaving enough in to run it efficiently. I didn't have money for coaching. I didn't have money for advertising and those kind of things. So that was like, kind of something that hit me right away. I was like, okay, the number one reason I need to be charging what I'm supposed to be charging is I can't run my business if I don't, right? And the other part of that was, obviously, I need to make more money because that's what I'm taking out of the company. Therefore, I need to have higher prices to afford to pay me and to pay to run the business. So if you are at a point where you're questioning, like, how do I even price myself? How do I do that? Having that clarity as to how you currently spend your money really goes a long way towards guiding you to, oh, this is how I should be charging in order to make the amount of money that I make. And in fact, I think I will do, later on, I'll probably do a call on how to charge and what you should be charging. I just figured today I would just talk off the cuff and see. Want to let you guys know about the group a little bit more, but that just came up. I don't know why. Maybe you needed to hear it today. But Profit First will help you know how much to charge, and you don't have to feel like you are just randomly charging people, because you can figure out how much you need to actually make. For instance, in the example I gave you, if I know that I needed to personally make $200, I can't charge $200 because then I'm really only bringing home $100 or something. And so I was really, so don't undercut yourself. That's definitely something I don't want you to do. I started this group. I've had a few other groups just that were based on bookkeeping. But once I got into Profit First, I realized that we needed to have something that was a little more targeted towards implementing this system in your business so that you can get ahead. I have a course. It's a year-long membership program where I personally coach you and take you through all of the steps. And saying, it's a good point. Looking forward to that conversation. Yeah, how to price your services. That one's, I'll definitely put that on my list. Actually, I will write it down now so I do not forget. Because I have a habit, and I realized lately, of putting way too much on my plate. I don't know if anyone here does that. How to price and figure out. Oh, okay. Make a note. Okay, so I won't forget to do that for you guys. But I started the group so that you would have a resource for Profit First, but I also do have the coaching program. So I would, in an ideal world, I would love for you all to be in my coaching program. That would be like the best thing ever. Because what I'm able to do in there is do a new topic every month. Right now I have the first, 5 or so months planned out. So right now we are in the Profit First Basics and Fundamentals section, and that's going to be a month. Next month, we are doing Profit First Implementation. Then we're going to move on to bookkeeping, and also have quarterly, what to do in your quarterly, like all of these things on how to do Profit First. But in addition to that, we've got weekly live coaching calls. I have one that goes along with the course material that we're talking about. And then I also have another one scheduled because I realize that not everyone is going to be in the same position. You're not all going to be at, the foundations, or at implementation, or you're not going to all be at the same point. So you might have questions. And it's one of my biggest pet peeves is getting stuck on something and not being able to get a quick answer. So there's an extra coaching call that is just general Q&A if you have something that you're stuck on that we can go through and work through on the live call. In addition to that, it's Facebook group where you can ask questions whenever you want. So that's a really fun part of it. I love being able to jump in and answer questions. And how I do that is between right now, it's probably changed once school starts because I'm going to be homeschooling two of my kiddos. But right now it's from 9 to 2. I just hop in there and I answer questions about 3 times a day, just kind of check it out and see what's going on. If you have something that's like really detailed question, oftentimes I'll do a little Loom video. And that way, because sometimes if you're like me, you're more of a visual learner. So I like to do a visual lesson for you so that you can see what I'm talking about instead of just hearing the words. It seems to make more sense to me. So I wanted to show you what that is. I wonder if I can, let's see if I can screen share. I know I can screen share, but I have me on both screens, so I just messed myself up. Here you go. I'm going to share just what the membership site looks like. So hopefully, oh, hold on. Oh, I just went full matrix on you, didn't I? Hold on. Oh, I'm not catching up. Okay. I shouldn't have done that on the same screen I was on. Hold on, let me pull it over here and see if that helps. Okay, great. I can see that looks better. It was all tunnel vision. Okay, so this is what the Academy looks like. It's when you have an idea. The group that you're in right now is one of the things that I do, but this Academy itself has its own Facebook group that is dedicated just to learning Profit First and diving in and actually doing implementation, where the free Facebook group is more of a learning source to get the ideas and concepts of Profit First down. The Facebook, the Perfect Profit Plan Academy is where you actually are working with me to implement everything that you've learned. So you can just see we have the Academy here. We did a welcome. We have a call schedule. We have the master the Google Calendar so that you can have a copy of that so you know when to contact me or when to get on the live calls. There's hot seat registration forms. And again, we are in foundations right now. So right now my people are, well, there's video here, but they are listening to my own rocket launch, quick start rocket launch that Mike has available. He's the author of Profit First. And then we're going to be doing trainings on those over the next month to dive in more to the concepts and really kind of getting rid of the mindset blocks that might be keeping you from making the changes that you need to make with Profit First. That's a really huge one. I see a lot of pushback, but I think that is our entrepreneurial spirit, right? Because we're always creating and making things. And so when we have something that's handed to us, sometimes we just want to make it better, right? But Profit First works the way it is. And Mike and his team, I can assure you, are always working on different concepts and different things that I'm able to share with you. So that's not something that you need to worry about. So the biggest thing I can say, if you're in the group, especially for the first time, follow the guidelines that Mike has laid out in the books. And if you get stuck, then ask the questions and I'll help you get unstuck. But definitely you need the bank accounts. Yes. Do you need the bank accounts at the second bank? Yes, you do. So really, especially when you look at the core principles of Profit First, those are using small plates. That's where your bank accounts come in, right? Removing temptation. That's where the other two come in. And it's really great. I can tell you from personal experience that I was doing Profit First for about 5 or so months and we had our oven die. Like it almost killed us, die. Fortunately, it was only giving off the bad gas when we were running it and we weren't running it too often. So it wasn't something that was like oozing out of it at all times. But at that time, I had to come up with money, right, to afford, I think it was like a $600 a bill that came up all of a sudden. And because my Profit First accounts, excuse me, the profit hold and my tax hold were not at my primary bank, I was able to rein myself in and not jump to spending that money. That is clearly earmarked for the business and not for me, because I had that plan in place. I was tempted, yes, but I was able to say to myself, okay, how else can we come up with the money? And we didn't have any problem doing it. Like I said, so removing that temptation from yourself, because no matter what you're telling yourself, oh, I'll never steal from myself, oh, I'll never transfer that money into my account. We're only human, and we tend to do things like that. In fact, I had a kind of a funny thing happen because I've been doing Profit First for a year. And this year, for some reason, I guess because I did better last year once I realized that I need to charge more. It was the first year that I owed taxes to the state. So in Washington State, we don't pay personal taxes, but we pay the business taxes. And they had done a thing where they let it go 3 months. I think it's usually in January, you fill it out. Anyway, because of COVID, it was pushed back. And so it was like May. I go in there and I see this bill. I think it was, and it wasn't even that much, right? So it was like $400. And well, that panic hit me, that blind panic that I used to always feel whenever the tax bill was due. And I can tell you, last year I paid it in full when it came out, but I had forgotten that I had the Profit First tax money, because again, it's at the other bank for a reason, so that you don't think about it. And I can tell you, I just had this moment of blind panic, like, oh, I don't have the money in my expense account to cover that. I have, XYZ bills coming up. Oh my gosh. And then a wave of relief when I realized, oh my gosh, Dawn, what are you doing? Of course you have the money. It's in your tax account. Log into the other bank and there was the money and I didn't have to worry about it. But we are all human, and that what we've always experienced and the habits that we have are what's going to make you have that moment of blind panic. But when you're doing Profit First, you'll also have that moment that I had of clarity where you're like, I got this covered. What am I worried about this for? So I want you to know that that is possible for you. I want you to have that because it's super important. Super, super important that you know that your business can support you. You started it for a reason. You started probably because you love whatever it is that you're doing. And so on top of that, I want you to have a business that is loving you back by giving you the money that you need to run your life, the money that you need to run it. So that said, I know what I want to teach you guys, but I also want to know what you need. So those of you who have joined in the last month or two, it's been really great because I have the membership questions in there and you've been able to ask me questions. So I will be going through that list of the things that you said that you guys are struggling with Profit First to pull content to do these calls. So keep that in mind. Also, if you didn't fill that out or you were with me way before that, I know we're over 600 people now. Just post a question in the group and I'll try to remember to ask you guys in a post a couple days before I'm planning my lives, just so that I can get that idea from you. But I really want this group to serve you. So whether or not you join me in my course and have me as your coach and your guide to hold your hand through this process, I want you to do well with Profit First. So definitely ask questions in the group. I'll get to them. If you just want something like this where I'm talking about it, I do go live usually every Monday, but I had the worst migraine yesterday, you guys. So keep that in mind. Any questions you have a Profit First question, just pop in, throw it in the discussion box, and I will get you an answer about it. That's what I'm here for. And that is why I created this free group. I'm going to go ahead when we get off and I will post a link to the Profit Academy. So if you want to know that you are ready. So who is the Perfect Profit Plan Academy good for? So this is good for people who have been thinking about things a long time. If that's you, that's how I was before I joined some of the coaching programs that I'm in. When you've been mulling something over and maybe it's how to start Profit First. Maybe it's how do I account for my bookkeeping and do Profit First. Maybe it's just general implementation questions in Profit First, and you're actually ready to get started, then that is something that the Academy is for. So Academy is for you if you know you're ready to get started, you're an action taker, you are ready to follow the directions that Mike has outlined in the core part of Profit First, then that is absolutely for you. And if you're not ready yet, I totally get that. Then the Facebook group is where you should be right now until you get ready. In the meantime, ask questions, hit me up if you have anything. I am here for you. And thank you so much for being here today. It's been wonderful talking to you. Take care.